like a blogger, but in book form or something like that. Anyway,
Okay.
he's like a gay guy that like lives in London and like picks up trash on the side of the road and goes to like antique shops, like really gay shit, you know. And
Hold on. I do at least 2 out of 3 of those things.
same, or all
Whoa
of them.
there.
I fuck dudes. Anyway.
That's my favorite type.
Yeah, I'm not gay, but like, you know, just a little
Well,
sex
yeah,
with men. That's
it's
all.
no problem.
So
No
anyway,
biggie.
um, he was saying that one of the things he likes to do is to ask people very strange questions, and how much like joy and familiar and like kind of intimacy he gets with people out of doing that. Like his favorite example was, he just started asking people like, "Hey, when was the last time you petted a chimpanzee?" And he asked this lady at a coffee shop that or something, and she was like, "Can you smell it on me?" And then
What?
he turned out that she worked at a zoo.
He lucked out so hard.
And
He got
and
so
and,
lucky.
and yeah, so he had this like cool interaction with this woman. And so anyway, so I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool idea. Just asking people like totally off the wall random questions." Like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. And so I'm just like asking this girl at Olive Garden, like, "Hey, when was the last time you went surfing?" What are you talking about? I don't surf. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Like, yeah, like,
Cool.
are you like afraid of
Cool.
clowns or something? Like, no, not really. Why'd you ask? I don't know. Thought it might be an interesting question. Just like totally off topic or whatever, irrelevant to the situation. And so she thought that was like a like
Common occurrence.
like yeah, a part of my personality. And so it's not really something I do. I don't know.
Yeah, you just tried it out the one time.
I tried it out a
You
lot.
didn't. No.
No, I did. I mean, not just with like attractive women, but like people at
Good.
McDonald's or the grocery store or whatever.
No, yeah, I would absolutely try it on people I didn't find attractive.
I do like being weird. That's very fun for me.
All right,
Like I like, you know how dads like to embarrass their kids?
absolutely,
I
yeah.
like doing that to myself. I like embarrassing myself, like as if I'm my own dad. So like yesterday,
Called weird too much, so like I can't stand it in public if I like think I'm acting strange.
well, I was kind of, I mean, being weird was kind of how I grew up, because when you're a kid, you're creative and you're like experimenting with all these different behavior patterns,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're like an especially open kid. And
Yeah.
so inevitably, I got called weird, and obviously it's like, oh no, I'm weird. Oh
Oh
no,
no,
like
I'm not
people aren't gonna
accepted in my
yeah,
social
I'm not
group.
gonna be accepted, which like being accepted in your social group is important, right? But
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely, especially
so
for like a
so
6-year-old.
I came home, I'm like, "Dad, like, these kids, they laugh at me, and they think I'm weird." And my dad told me, this is one of my first like biggest memories. He said, "Son, if somebody laughs at you, make more fun of yourself." Like, if somebody makes fun of you, you make you make fun of yourself even more, and you win. And I was like, "Oh fuck, all right."
I learned that one by myself,
And so
but
that
like
stuck with me for like, my dad told me that when I was like 8.
I could have used it like in 7th grade for sure.
So yesterday I was driving down the road, and I'm from rural countries where everybody waves at each other as you're driving by.
Hmm.
And I'm crossing these train tracks, and there's 3 cars in a row that have been waiting to cross the train tracks, I'm driving past the first truck, and I put up my hand to wave at him. No response. And like I don't have any tint on my windows. People can see me really easily. And so
Yeah, okay.
the next car comes, and like they're like right in a line. There's no pause between them. So I'm like
Mhm.
wave, the next one wave, no response. Last one wave, no response. Like,
Wah, wah.
I find that I literally laughed out loud. I find that so funny.
I'd have punched my fucking steering. I'm like, God damn it! I live in the wrong place.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I don't know. It's very funny to me. Like there's something like cringy about like, oh, like that was so awkward and that was so weird. But like
Yes.
something about how I acted when I was younger, like I came to enjoy that feeling. I mean, precisely
Yeah,
from
okay.
like what my dad said, it felt like winning. Because they'd be like I would have a friend that would be like, dude, you're being weird. And I would be like, oh, am I? Am I being weird, bro? You know what I mean?
You start tickling him, like
Yeah.
in public.
Yeah, so like
Sorry, I imagine doing that like a bar setting with you being like 24 now, and I'd
yeah.
be like, Eddie, you're being weird, and then you like walk over to me and start like tickling in the bar.
Yeah. I mean,
Gorgeous. I'd be like
there is a certain
sweating.
amount of like uh petulance to it, or yeah, just like childishness to it. It's like, all right, you're just like, you know, being weird for the sake of being weird is not a good reason. you know,
I don't know. It'd be pretty
and
funny. With
unless,
me
well, like,
specifically, it was funny.
if it's funny, that's good. But if you're the only person laughing,
I
it's
don't care.
probably not good. You know, like,
Well, like, do you mean you as in like the person enacting the joke or the
yeah,
person you're enacting the joke to?
no, the
Okay.
person doing the joke.
Because like the crowded room doesn't need to be laughing. Only the person you're enacting the joke to should like laugh. That's
I
like
mean, it
the
depends on,
audience.
if you're a stand-up comedian, then no, that's not the
No, you
case.
but like
But
you know what I
if
mean. Like
if you and your friend are just having a good time, I mean, even then, even it like you know, even if you're alone and you're like, and you do something weird and everybody else is like, whoa, what the fuck, and like you're not hurting anybody, but it's just like that's so weird, and you find it hilarious, and you go home and you're like, that was so funny, and you have this memory forever. That I have nothing against that. I'm just thinking about it from like, I guess, like a power perspective. Like if you want to, command respect, and like there's a power to being funny, right?
yeah, there's also a power to not embarrassing yourself in public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
So
like you need to find like a good balance there. Is that what like we're
I'm not
coming
saying
to?
I'm not saying like a good balance, but like,
Big one.
I mean, what I'm saying is if you're being properly funny, it's not weird.
Okay.
You know?
So yeah, but I don't think you should expect to land 100% of the
No,
jokes you're
of
making.
course not.
You
Of
know?
course not.
So like
But I think
if
I think my father should have tried to teach me. I mean, uh, he should have tried to teach me to be funny, because being
Mhm.
funny is really important. Like, this is not something people think about very much, I find, but you will have people that cannot take a joke. That's one problem some people will have. You have other
Yeah,
people that their jokes always lie flat. They don't make any sense, or it's like,
bro.
what did you mean by that? Or you can a common one for males, maybe not for males. Just a common one is taking a joke too far, like saying something that,
Like
like, offensive comedy is can be very, very good when you're saying like just the right thing. Like
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle is the perfect example of this, if anybody's familiar with his
Hmm.
comedy. But like you have to know where the line is, and you have to be willing to hold yourself back from crossing that line, because it's just not going to be
Yeah.
funny.
No, yeah, absolutely. I try and actually steer away from offensive or jokes or like, unless like I'm with like my close friends and we're in like game chat for like
Yeah.
PlayStation because like I know that crowd. But like if I'm in public, I will never ever like go too far down that path because like I do not want to risk like, you know, the look of like bewilderment without the funny behind it, like there's that look of like I can't believe he said that, haha. And there's like, I cannot believe he said that, like with
Yeah.
anger behind it. I never
Yeah.
want to see that ever.
Yeah.
I'd be a pretty poor stand-up comic, I think. But like I'm pretty good on the one-on-one.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay, hold on.
yeah.
Before we move off of this conversation, have you
Yeah.
ever been friends with that second type or the first type where all of the jokes fall flat? Like have you just experienced it before?
Mm, I don't think so, honestly.
I
I
gotta
think
say, it's one of my least favorite personalities. It's so bad. Like because like
Yeah, nothing comes to
I've
mind
been
anyway.
friends. Okay, so I was friends in college with this kid on the cross country team. I was I think a junior when he moved in, and so this was like 2 years ago. But every single thing that came out of his mouth was like almost a joke. Everything felt like he was trying to be funny, but like nobody ever laughed because it wasn't funny. Like it
Yeah.
was like he was trying. You could see the effort, but like it just never was funny. So I got to a point where I would start laughing because I was laughing at him
Yeah.
because like no one was laughing,
Yeah.
and I find that so funny. Like
Yeah.
it's just so awkward. It's so like
Yeah.
it just makes something in me like boil almost. Like I just
Yeah.
can't help but laugh because
Yeah.
there's no other emotion that I can have. And man, I just hated being in a room with that guy with more than me. If it was like a populated room, if there were like 5 people in there, I didn't want to be there because he was gonna make a joke. I knew it. So like if it was just me, him, and like some other dude, like
That's
that's fine.
crazy. Like,
But if there
how
was like
long was he
7 or 8,
doing this?
the entire time I knew him, like he never stopped. I
That's
swear to God,
wild. That's
like
wild.
he just man, and like he sometimes like give a little chuckle, you know what I mean? He was like, it just never got any better. And oh man,
Yeah.
just thinking about it makes me like a little upset and laugh a little bit at least.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever known anyone like that.
The
At
worst
least,
person.
at least it doesn't come to mind. Yeah, I
Oh
feel like
man,
most people, if they're like trying to be funny and it's not working, they'll
they
either
stopped, right?
they'll just stop trying to make jokes.
He couldn't stop himself. I don't know, like maybe his like mom and dad laughed at him. My mom and dad laugh at me. So like it gives me like pretty good confidence to like, be funny somewhere else. Maybe that
Yeah.
was like
My
he grew
parents
up
do
around
not
people
get my
laughing.
jokes, like, at all. It's torturous. Literally, like I'll make a joke if I'm near my mom, and often when I make a joke, I will be silent afterward because I'm waiting for a laugh.
Yeah, you're just like engaging the crowd.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm looking at her and she's like
Hmm.
looking at me like, was that a joke? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it was. She's like, I don't get it. It would be like it could be the simplest, most like obvious thing ever. What would be an example? Let me think. I don't know. I could just like make fun of somebody if we're out in
Like how
public
they
or
dress.
something.
Yeah,
Like, oh
that
man,
seems to work pretty well.
like so also like she can't hear sarcasm. You know what I mean? It's very
Mhm.
strange. Like,
that is weird. Yeah.
like if I said to you, "Oh man, Colton, I really love it when you do that."
I would laugh and
She
probably
can't
stop.
she can't hear the sarcasm.
That is weird, dude.
It is very interesting. It really
Doesn't your
goes to
mom
show
watch
you, like,
these?
I don't know. She's probably not gonna watch this. If she does, she
Okay.
does. If she does, she won't care. I
All
think
right.
my whole family. I'm not gonna say that. Sorry. um. You know, I'm a big fan of Tim Dillon. I love Tim Dillon, and he says virtually like whatever he wants. He will make fun of his entire family. He'll call his sister a fucking coke whore bitch that if she ever fucks with him again will hang from a tree with a rope around her neck. And that is so funny. And so me being somewhat of like an open person without a crystallized identity um wants to be that. But fuck, dude. You gotta be.
You gotta like gain the reputation for it. You know what I mean? Like you can start small, like with small
Yeah.
steps of like making fun of them, and like towards the end, you can start saying like outrageous things. But, like, man, you gotta start small.
Man, I love inflammatory stuff. I really do. Like that's why, like, as unhealthy as Andrew Tate may be, I still love him. I love Tim Dillon.
Have you seen
I
Have you seen
love
Andrew Tate's heart attack clip?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's funny to laugh at for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
For
also it could, like, he's not being wrong necessarily. Like it'd be a because it's not that, like, I think the reason we're laughing is because we equate heart attack with death.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I
that's
equate like a heart attack with like
Yeah, but that's not
like
the
bad
case.
news.
No, with bad news, yeah, but heart attack doesn't mean you're dead.
No, it doesn't. But it doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm gonna expect you to get up and come back into the club and like party the rest of the night away. That's
Why
not the
not?
next move for
Dude.
you. The next move for you is to go to the
I don't-
hospital
wh-
to
it-
see
I-
what
Is
who
that
spiked your drink.
hold on. Is that the rest of
You
the
know
context?
what drugs
Hold on,
have you
hold on,
accidentally
hold on.
taken?
Is that the rest of the context?
That's the rest of my. That's what I understand. That's like.
He said.
Do you want
he
to
said-
hear the
He
clip?
said, "Get back up so we can go back into the club." That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. I have the clip.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, he's top G. Everything he says is true. So,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you there, right? It's
but like,
just-
have you ever heard of
Hey.
Sam Hyde?
I love Sam Hyde.
You like Sam
all right?
Hyde?
Listen, I
Bro,
like Sam Hyde a
Sam
lot,
Hyde.
but I
I-
hate Andrew Tate. Like,
I love
it's,
Sam
it's
Hyde.
definitely a weird. I didn't he like he won very recently at like a boxing match,
Yeah.
right?
As the
yeah.
Candyman,
And
laddie.
Yeah, I think that is so funny. It's just so random and funny,
Dude,
you know?
it's so good. I love it. I love the chaos.
just-
The chaos. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I watched him in like iDubbbz, like back when iDubbbz was like trying to like rip him or do a documentary over him.
yes.
And, like he had just
I
recently
watched
turned,
that
like,
whole
pretty
saga.
liberal.
I watched that whole saga. Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Did you watch both videos?
I can't tell you. I can't remember.
Did you watch the iDubbbz video or the Sam Hyde video on it?
I think I watched the Sam Hyde video on it.
So you saw the Gaslight iDubbbz document?
Yeah, I'm almost positive I saw that one.
That was so funny.
He's so funny. He's so,
So
funny.
funny,
That's
dude.
hilarious to me.
He's oh my god, I'm such a big fan. My comedy skit was inspired by him.
Dude, that's like the personality, like that type of like personality alter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Sam Hyde's actually like that in person, but like he definitely does his YouTube the way I would want to like try and do a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
I would want to make a really
Well,
funny
he's
personality
like Tim
that's
Dillon. He's like Tim Dillon in that way, where like it seems like he, you know, the jester almost has to be antisocial,
Mhm.
you know, because Sam Hyde's like a similar way where he's like, just will make fun brutally of anybody and anything, brutally, and it's so funny. But like, you know, for people like you and me, we have like all these friends and like uncles and grandparents, and it's like, oh my god, Colton's
Yeah.
such a sweet boy, and he's growing up to be such a responsible, intelligent young man, and blah 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 blah. And like I've like oh my, you know, my family, they love me so much. Like, oh Edward, why don't you come see us more often? And I'm like, oh, I'm busy, fucking masturbating. You know.
I told my mom specifically not to watch or listen to the podcast. Like just straight out. I told my mom like, yeah, I gotta record with Eddie tonight because I talked to her before we got on. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I gotta record with Eddie. And she's like, oh, you're doing a little podcast? Because like she's always thought of me as an entertainer. Like
Yeah.
because she is like my number one fan when it comes to like telling jokes. She laughs at
Yeah.
all my stuff.
Yeah.
So like, why wouldn't she think I'm funny? Anyway, so she was like, oh, you're doing a podcast. That's so nice. And I was like, don't listen to it. I don't want you to.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell anybody the name.
Yeah.
Don't tag me in it.
Man, you know, that's a good point. Yeah, I've been sharing like my YouTube videos with like friends and stuff, and I'm wondering if I shouldn't have done that. Like, you know, you get like the growth boost or whatever, but I don't know, like, you know, not everything's about views, you know. So
yeah, I want my family. I don't care if my friends watch it. Like that's fine. My friends know me as me, right?
But I think
like I
if
put up a certain respectable face for my family, and I don't want that to like come off.
Yeah. I mean, you have the duality of, I think, if you know it. Well, I don't know if that's true either, actually. But I will say that I find that if you try, you can really maintain relationships through like a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I absolutely.
I know that was an empty platitude, but
no, I totally
you
agree.
can maintain relationships through a lot of stuff, bro. But
I've repaired a lot of relationships through my days, you know, like
yeah, you like
not necessarily
it really
all
just
bad,
comes down
but...
to like talking and giving the love. That's really what it comes down to. Like, look, dude, I know I said you have a tiny penis and that you're a loser and that you'll never be anything, but I do love you, and like it's all just jokes, dude. You know.
I only meant like half of it, probably.
Yeah.
You go on like a 20-minute rant about one very specific friend, and then oh man, I gotta apologize to this dude. You're stunting for the hose or whatever.
You know, it's all like to a degree, you know. Like obviously, if you're like, you know, talking smack about people behind their backs, and you know, it's repairable, you know.
But yeah, it's not gonna be the same for sure.
It's not gonna
be
be
a while.
Yeah, for your, you know, I have people that I've called friends that have done very distasteful things that what you end up doing is, it's not like you're like, oh my gosh, they did this, and you carry this around. Like, this is kind of like what the Buddhists and the Stoics were talking about. It's like you just don't care. You let it go. It doesn't matter. Like if you're carrying the stuff around with you, that's a whole lot of weight to be carrying for no reason. Like, oh,
So hold on.
I gave $2,000 for a friend of mine to invest into cryptocurrency, and now I've and then you contact him and you never hear anything from him again. It's like, okay, well, you move on.
Counterpoint. Carrying weight makes you stronger. So the more weight you carry, the stronger you'll get. Right. So that way, whenever you
not
do
if
let things
not
go,
if you never set it down.
so that's it's an interesting point. It's how you like pull muscles. You might be right. I like that. Good counter argument.
Yeah.
Dang, he was ready. He saw the shenanigans from a mile away.
Yeah. So, like, man, I had a friend that was trying to sleep with the girl that I was with.
Dude, that's what happened with me. Oh my gosh. We're like one and the same.
And
We're the
it's
same
like,
person.
wow, dude.
Yeah, it hit hard. Like that
that's
sucked.
fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. I
So
was pissed as hell. I mean, I did eventually. So it takes like for me to repair that specific instance was just all like me having to forgive him.
mm-hmm.
But like, I knew that I didn't want to like hold a grudge.
I'll never
for too
really.
long.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. Is you don't hold a grudge. You know, that's carrying something.
Mhm.
But you just, it's business. You don't trust the person anymore.
Yeah, that's. I trust him now, but we were in high school at the time, so like throughout the rest of high school, definitely wasn't.
So yeah, if a person like rebuilds their trust, obviously, like you should you should allow that. You know,
absolutely.
But
that's just
until that point, it's like, look, dude, like I can still like you, but I'm just not gonna trust you. That's just business.
It's just how it is, You're gonna have to pay me money for me to trust you. Just business.
But you know what I mean? Like I think there's a valuable mentality in the mentality of the businessman, like the gangster, who's like, or the mobster. It's just business. That has further value into places beyond merely money.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Like,
where it's kind of there's a certain wedding with that sentiment and stoicism.
Mm-hmm. Like, it is what it is like a very common phrase nowadays. But like, I feel like that's very stoic for like the modern times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
unless you're using it in a retreating type of way. Of like, hey man, it is what it is, You just end up being a manager at Olive Garden until you're 65. Or
I think
a
it's
manager
mostly...
or sorry, I didn't mean to say Olive Garden. They make general managers do pretty well for themselves. I meant McDonald's. And it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't think it just is what it is. I think
at that point, that's definitely not what it is,
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
not what it is.
I think specifically, like the meme of it is it comes from like events happening,
right.
to you. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like girlfriend cheats, it is what it is, or
it
like
is what it is.
like,
Yeah, exactly. It's
you
business.
just kind of take it. Yeah, just business. Strictly
it's just
business.
You move on.
You
go make. Hey, your girlfriend leaves you for your best friend. Google, I ain't talking to you, bitch. You move on.
That's what you have to Google, and then you can send her whatever it comes up.
It's just business.
Move on.
It's just business. You should have known. You should have known that she wasn't to be trusted from the beginning. You should have sussed it out.
Maybe not from the beginning.
No, well, you know what I mean. I don't mean from the first glance.
You can you have it dialed in your eyes. You have this overlay at all times of how trustworthy people are.
Oh, that reminds me. Something I was thinking about is uh, I think we're too lazy to seduce now. Like, I think that's part of the reason why we have this problem with women, is because we live in a
Now hold
world
on,
where
I don't have
everything's
a
like,
problem. I don't have a problem with women. All right, they have a problem with me.
no. Oh yeah, let me just pass the buck to the women. Yeah, okay, sure, that's helpful.
It helps me sleep at night.
Well, it shouldn't. If you're sleeping at night and you're still a loser, stay up, work. That's what somebody on Instagram
Put
would
that on
tell
a
you.
shirt. Put that on a shirt, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
So anyway, we want everything like right now, and that's
Mhm.
not. I don't think that's historically normal, because like, if you think women want to be seduced over time, that's why they read romance novels, where a woman will like. The Notebook is about a woman getting seduced through the mail over like 10 years, right? I've never watched it.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck the Notebook's about,
But
dude.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
No, no.
they have
Yeah.
these romance stories about like a man finally winning a woman's love after, 20 years of trying to get her to love him.
Mhm.
That's part of
No, I
that's part of
totally
the feminine
agree.
fantasy, yeah. Beauty and the Beast, perfect example. He loves her from the beginning, but he has to try to seduce her for the entire movie,
However long.
and
Yeah.
it's
2 hours.
only at the end,
Man, we got to
right?
work for 2 hours to seduce our ladies.
So the
Damn.
point is that like I had this interaction with this gal in public, where I like I met her, we talked, and then I invited her to go to a museum together, just the two of us,
Mhm.
which is like that's a
Yep.
date. That's a date. That's
Mhm.
like and potentially more after that. It's like it's got all of this stuff loaded into it when she doesn't even know me
Mhm.
that well.
Yeah.
And it's like um seduction is something that takes time.
No, yeah. I'm in every time I find an attractive woman. So I think it also has to do with my bravery levels. I am not a very brave person, so
Mm-hmm.
like I just try to know people a little better, and like
Yeah.
then like after I develop a relationship, I can then try and develop a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why
Now
I've
at the
had.
same time, that doesn't mean that you act like a friend. You're just like, "Oh, I'm just a chill guy who like." That's not what it means. It means flirting. And
No, yeah,
it means flirting for a long time,
yeah,
and
no.
slowly like pushing the boundaries, slowly penetrating her walls until you
one of
get
my
to her heart.
one of my favorite things is whenever I was in high
That's
school,
just
it actually
theorizing.
took
I
me.
don't fucking know. I'm a pussy who, well, I got to give myself some credit. All right, I've been around
So my longest
more than
relationship
most of these dudes
actually
out here.
I had to chase a girl for like 9 months for her to like agree to go out with me,
Yeah.
and it took so long. Like from so I actually broke up with my current girlfriend to then try and go out with her, and like
Mhm.
it was almost like set up. It was like structured. Like she was like, "Yeah, I'll say yes if you like are single," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I immediately made myself single, and then I was like, "All right, so yeah, we'll go out, right?" And she's like, "No, I can't because you just broke up with one of my like best friends."
Yeah.
And I can't like date you immediately. And I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. It does seem like kind of like a douchebag move. So like we could wait a while. And
This is
so
so
that
fucking
was
high
the
school,
same.
dude. This is so,
I know.
yeah.
I absolutely understand it's high school, but like I'm
Yeah.
proud of my commitment, basically, to like
Yeah,
at
right,
least
right, right.
chasing,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And like so like the first 2 months was that, and the next like few months was something else. And then it took me like from February to October to get her to like eventually like quote unquote go out with me. And like
Mhm.
it's like that's just kind of like my like almost way of
That's
doing
a long
things now.
time. Yeah.
Like I do not expect like results on the first day, but like I can expect results eventually. So I'm just a very patient person, and like
Mhm.
I do flirt. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Anything I do can be taken as flirting, pretty much. So
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, man.
I
I think
I
I'm.
tend to
Hmm.
I tend to look people in the like girls specifically. I think I look them in the eyes a little too long for it to be casual. Like I think I need to break eye contact quicker because like I I know that's weird, right? And it's probably like my overanalyzing stuff that I think is I probably think I'm too hot for shit. But like something I literally noticed like today was how long I held this girl's gaze. Like I was looking at her as she was checking me out at Starbucks. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And so I like I was like, oh, thanks a lot. And I was like putting my card in the slot, and we were just like maintaining eye contact. And it was probably like 3 to 4
Interesting.
seconds of eye contact before I was like, oh shit. And then I like broke it. And then she was like, so how's your day? And like it was just so strange that like I didn't see a conversation coming because it's just a cashier. And like she's actually one of the cashiers I hadn't spoken to yet. So
Hmm.
like I had no idea what it was like,
Yeah.
you know.
I honestly
Anyway,
don't think we would be so socially awkward if it weren't for the technology.
I don't find that as socially awkward. I think it might be just me being like over analyzing a bit, but
No, no,
I can't tell.
it's slightly awkward. Uh, like um, I'll the what'll happen to me is we'll like exchange some words, and then I won't know what to say next, so I'll just go
Breaking the conversation.
and then like I'll just like look down and like just be like doing whatever with like paying with my card or whatever. It's like, I come in with this robustness, like, hey, like, how's it going? Like, tell me about your day. And they're like, oh, my day's been good. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Beep,
I'm like looking back and forth, like, oh no.
like you've been shunned or something.
Like, I I don't know what to do after this part. God, it's so bad.
You talk about your day next. You immediately just talk about yourself.
No, no,
Nope, that's how it.
nah.
Don't let her talk about her.
People want
You
people
shouldn't
want
even
you
ask.
people want you to be interested in them.
You shouldn't
Now,
even ask
now
how their
I
day
gotta give
went.
myself some
You should.
credit here. All right, I am pretty decent at building relationships, because even though there is some awkwardness, it doesn't kill the whole thing. Like
Mhm.
you can still build relationships even though you're somewhat awkward.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely. I mean,
it's not the
I've
end of the
made it
world.
this far.
And also I tend to think I tend to lean towards, um if you want people to like you, say the minimum amount of things and make sure they're all good things.
Be as
You know
generic
what I
as
mean?
possible. Be as like
No, I don't mean
just
be
like
generic.
off color.
You don't want to be generic, but you, wasn't that something Lao Tzu said or something, like, the man who says nothing will be considered a fool, but the man who opens his mouth will be confirmed to be one.
Yeah, I know the quote you're speaking. I don't know who said it, and I don't
I'm
know if
pretty
that's
sure
exact word.
that was Lao Tzu. Whoever wrote the Tao Te Ching. I could go get it if I want. Yeah, I have the Tao Te Ching in my
Oh
room,
yeah,
bro. I'm
yeah.
a
You
fucking
just gotta go get the
intellectual.
Tao Te
I just
Ching.
gotta just go get the Tao Te Ching. I tried to read it. It was so boring.
What is that, like a takeout place? You just like pick up
Yeah.
food from there?
Bro, racism, dude. You know what I was thinking about? I was going through I was at the grocery store, and I saw this really pretty black woman walk by. And I was like, wow, she's really pretty. And she had this like long, straight black hair. And then I saw, and her son was behind her, and her son had like nappy hair, as black people do. And I realized, oh yeah, she's wearing a weave. It's
Mm.
fake. Like this is very common. Like
Yeah,
I
no.
almost feel like a majority of black women in the U.S. wear weaves, and so I realized I don't think this is like a thing anymore. I think people realized really quickly that it was ridiculous, but for a little while there, people were saying that having dreads or wearing your hair in like a black style was appropriating culture, and that
I still think it's.
you're not allowed to
I think
do
it's
that.
still said. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's still a thing.
Maybe.
Like,
But it just really occurred to me like, but y'all are
you
wearing
pointing at
weaves
the
though. Like y'all are wearing weaves though to purposefully adopt an aesthetic of another lineage of people.
I'm
That's
curious,
if you're talking about appropriation, that's appropriation.
dude. We all know
If
white people are
like
behind like the
if you want
cultural
to
movement.
if you want to play that game, if you want to play that game, we can play that game, and you'll lose because
Hmm.
not gonna get into it. That just that. That's all.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I
Yeah,
meant to bring up.
no,
I
yeah.
just find it very funny.
I think you would offend if you like immediately got dreadlocks right now, like
I can go
poof
put some on.
dreadlocks,
You want me
right?
to put? I have some dreadlocks.
If you had like cornrows in your hair, right? I think that you would offend like more white people. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think,
Oh, absolutely.
like okay, let's put
I
it
think the
this way.
Prager
I
you guys
think
have proven
more,
that.
yeah, I think the more people that would come up to you would be like white people, right? Not necessarily like would be offended, but like the people that would be outspoken for sure about it would be like all the white knighting, like leftists, you know? Like
Right.
I feel like,
All right,
yeah,
hold on a
that's about
second.
it. not the not the dreadlocks, dude. They're not even blonde.
All
They're
right.
not even blonde,
I think I'm gonna go out in public like this soon.
dude. You need to get the blonde ones.
The blonde ones? Why the blonde ones?
Yeah, that way they match your beard. They match your eyebrows. You know.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, like they
Dude, I
just look more
suddenly
real.
feel really cool.
I
Oh
don't
my
blame you.
god, dang, dude.
Whoa.
I wanna go drop a rap album. Holy fuck.
I'm gonna start cross-dressing cultures.
Dude, this is so cool. Sometimes I wish I was black. Do you ever wish you were black?
Let me think about that. I don't. I don't think so,
Oh, just why is
but
it
I
so
do
like
wish I had
straight
better
right
hair.
here?
I wish I was like Roman, like Greek. You know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to
know
have
what
the
you mean, man.
face of someone from Rome. You know, there's been a meme going around recently that's like very fresh. It's just like a Roman guy, and like they're just making fun of his genetics. Basically, they're not even making fun; they're basically admiring it by making jokes. You know,
Hmm.
like I think there are two different like categories of like making jokes, and there's like some that are like, "Ha, look at how dumb this guy looks," and they're like, "Oh man, this guy's a Chad." Like nowadays, there's like the Chad meme. You know, like we don't make fun of the Chad guy. We are strictly admiring him because we're putting all of like positive aspects
Yeah.
towards the Chad figure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like so obviously we're not making fun of him. And
Yeah.
so that's like the same thing with the Roman guy. It's like no one's like putting badness on him. It's like mostly just like he's like from the 14th century or something dumb or like from the 4th century, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah. Dude, I want to be a Chad, dude. That's my dream. My dream is to
I
be
love,
a Chad.
I love explaining jokes. First of all, you're gonna have to get a bigger chin. All right.
Dude, I have a look at this chin.
No more. Yeah,
I
something out there.
need to like do some of these like jaw
Get an, uh,
exercises.
yeah, you need to get an
Be one
underbite a bit.
Yeah,
You know.
I need to be one of these fucking idiots who turn their face into Doritos.
Oh my gosh, dude! I've
Oh my
seen some of those
god.
people. Like I can't tell
They
if it's
look
a
like
filter at some
cartoons.
point.
They look like cartoons,
Yeah,
bro. It's crazy.
it could totally be a filter to me. Like if you told me, like, yeah, that person for that
Yeah.
commercial was just wearing a filter, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Man.
I would actually be more surprised if I met one in person. You know,
I can't believe so
like
many guys keep their hair long like this. It's such like it's
it's
such a
like a
hassle, dude.
pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew a guy a few years ago that had dreads, and he's just like constantly like, oh, oh, like getting his dreads out of the way of everything he's doing all the time, and it's like, bro, they're like
You don't think they're worth it,
just
right? Like I wouldn't think they're worth
well, no, it's like anything else. It's like tattoos. It's like, oh, this is like my character, and it's like, no, dude, it's just a veneer. It's just a veneer. Build real character.
I think you can wear your character with tattoos pretty easily.
I mean, I guess,
I
but it's
I'm
just
not.
like it's literally skin deep.
Yeah, no, literally. But like you can still wear it on your skin, you know? Like if you see someone with like a wolf tattoo sleeve, I'm either gonna think that's the cringiest dude ever, or he like served in the military. Boom, just like that. Just an instant like
Yeah, but
I
like what? Like that doesn't like
no no no. I'm saying,
that brings me no closer to like knowing you as an intimate person. Like a lot of
but
people
like
served in the military, dude. That doesn't tell me
no,
anything
yeah,
about
but
you.
like
You know what
it
I
gives
mean?
you a basis. That's what I'm
Yeah, but
saying.
like I think I'm
I'm
just
not
I
saying
think
it
I'm being
describes them
somewhat
fully.
overly critical because you know the world the world is an aesthetic place. So people are going to adopt certain aesthetics. You know, I think some of them
Yeah.
are just much more vapid than others.
Well, you better watch your tone because I am gonna get 8 tattoos in the
Yeah.
next 8 months. I'm gonna just start splurging on tattoos
Yeah.
because that's what women want right now, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
guess
skinny guy.
I just find it strange to kind of like, well, maybe not. It's not. I was gonna say I find it strange choose a choose a cultural tribe and then be like, oh, I'm part of this tribe. Like,
See, okay, here's what I'm gonna get tattooed on myself. I'm just gonna get fake freckles, like on my body. Like they're gonna look like
yeah,
moles, and that's a tattoo.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna get them like a few
That's
on
a good
my
idea.
arm, just
Yeah.
randomly. Like, it's not a mole. It's a tattoo.
That's
Get
funny.
a huge one on my chin, and then be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's a beauty spot." Like, no, that's a tattoo. Sorry. Like,
Yeah.
for the longest time, I actually did
Uh,
want a tattoo or
could
two.
you imagine if face tattoos started becoming a thing, started becoming popular? I mean, it's only a matter of time, right? Like tattoos are becoming more and more popular. It actually, it's probably one of those things where it won't reach an extreme because then you could make the same logic where like, oh, bro, in a few years it's gonna be popular to just go around naked. But actually, I mean, maybe that is true because more and more women are going around not wearing bras. How do
So
you feel about this? What's your expert opinion on women not wearing bras in public? I'm
my
taking this off.
expert
It's very
opinion.
hot. Hold on.
No, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll hold my opinion until you're ready. Let me
Ugh,
form it a second.
God,
All right. So my
feel like a
specific
criminal.
opinion
I mean,
on not wearing bras in
I didn't mean it
public.
that way.
You're a racist.
No, I meant
You're a racist.
I
No,
meant
wait.
like a blue collar criminal. Like I feel like I've revealed my true self. That's what I meant. Not the other
So,
way. I didn't mean it like
oh man. So the way I feel about women not wearing bras in public are like, it's great on like a very, very surface level. Like if I'm just in like Walmart or something and a girl's not wearing a bra, and be like, haha, look, boobies. Like that's it. But then as soon as I start getting to know a girl, if she doesn't wear a bra in public, I am like a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit like turned away. Because
especially
like,
if they're your family. It's like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm just talking about like in like even
yeah,
a relationship sense. Like
sure,
if I talk to a girl and like she's not wearing a bra, I'm gonna be like, oh, like I can't tell like why you're not wearing it. Like, do you think it like looks better? Do you think like did you just not want to put one on? Like, do you
yeah,
just want like more attention? Like, I don't know where
right,
they're coming from,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so like any of those three, I think are negatives. Like
It's
you didn't want to
probably
put one
more.
on.
I suspect it's more of like a comfort thing.
Yeah, probably. But like if you're out at a
Most of the time,
bar, if you like go to
We-
Walmart without a bra, it's like me going to Walmart without underwear. You know, that's crazy. Why would I just throw on shorts? I wear underwear every
Right.
day.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You make
But I
your
mean,
public
this is
appearance
exactly. I
acceptable.
mean, this is the cultural debate we're having right now. The cultural debate is where is the line on propriety, on dress propriety, and I
It's
think that
very
that
personal.
basically, um, women have, well, the culture has forgotten the feminine role. The feminine role is to be the judge and the prize for men.
Hmm.
Now that's not I'm not saying that they're objects for men to fight over and own. That has some truth in it. Let's be honest, but saying it that way, using that vocabulary puts a certain aesthetic on it that's not accurate,
Yeah.
because what it also means is that men compete with each other and build and create things for the benefit of women, like worker ants.
Hmm.
Both of those are true. And so, as a small tangent, a good example of that is if you paid close attention. I live in suburbia, and I'm around a lot of upper class people. I wouldn't say high class, but um probably most of the people I'm around are making six figures.
Hmm.
Not 7, 6.
Yeah.
So this is an additional tangent that I think people have been talking about for a long time. Oh, the middle class is disappearing. The middle class is disappearing. The middle class hasn't been disappearing, from what I can tell, in my opinion. I think what happened is the middle class all became what upper class used to be. And upper class became even higher than what it used to be. And so when the middle class became upper class, people thought it didn't exist anymore. But no, what happened is the entire economic hierarchy moved up a level. So people didn't realize that the middle class just was up a level. It didn't disappear. It's just that, like, middle class is like lawyers, doctors.
Are they?
Are they not? Like, wouldn't upper
I
class
thought
be?
that I thought that middle class would not be lawyers and doctors, but they would be like blue collar workers. You know, like air conditioned workers. You know, like line,
Well, then
like loggers.
who's lower class?
Lower class would be like the wage slaves for like McDonald's or like Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, like all of these like food chain restaurants that need to be staffed.
Well,
Like I'm not saying
they make similar amounts to white blue collar workers.
how you're a blue collar worker, right? I don't think.
I'm in a different situation.
Okay, sure, all right, we'll take it. All right, so
Cuz
you're just
what I'm saying is like, I mean, the margin of income difference between like a bank teller and an Olive Garden
mhm.
cook in the same area aren't very big. They're not a big difference.
Okay. If you're sure, I mean, I don't know. I haven't worked at Olive Garden, so I can say at least that.
I mean, yeah, I mean they're just not a big difference.
I know there's a pretty big
They're
difference
within
in.
like they're just with the only thing we're thinking about like is kind of like status, I guess, because the guys that take out your trash, and the guys that flip your burgers, and that cook your fettuccine,
Mhm.
and the guys that uh come and fix your pipes, like the guys on the bottom of the chain that fix your pipes. they all live in pretty much the same area. You know what I mean? Like some guys are gonna make more, obviously, but they're pretty much part of the same class. Anyway,
I just all right. So there's definitely a pretty distinct line
because like, look, what,
between
like,
$35,000 a year and $45,000 a year. Like there is a distinct difference there, with just the amount of like spending money you have.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
I guess,
No, I have worked for like
yeah.
$850 before,
well,
and I have worked for this.
you got to remember that it also depends on where you live. Because like if you're making $35,000 a year in Oklahoma, well, I mean
Yeah.
you can live alone. You can pay your own bills.
You can go hungry sometimes, but yeah.
No, I mean really, like you can do that just fine. I mean, you know, when I was paying rent in Oklahoma, it was like $600 a month. It's like it was nothing. But if you're making 35 where I live now, like that is nothing. You're toast. It's not gonna happen.
No, I undershot
my
estimate a bit by like what I was thinking of. I was thinking of I overestimated how much my friend makes. He makes like $12.50 an hour, and that actually is only like 25,000 a year. And like
what? That depends on how many hours he's working.
I just looked it up. $12.50 an hour, like just to a year. I just googled it real quick.
Huh?
It's like 25,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Assuming you work 37.5 hours a week.
Anyway,
he doesn't eat sometimes,
I think
and like that is absolutely abysmal.
Well, what else is he spending his money on?
Well, like rent. He lives alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Huh.
Like he spends it on groceries, rent, and then he almost doesn't have any much more to save. He does. The poor guy doesn't even have like a car. He doesn't even spend his money on gas because he bikes to work every day. But
that's weird to me. There's something weird going on with that.
Why?
Because I've never known. Now, obviously, I don't know everything, but I've known a lot of like bottom of the food chain people, and I've never known anybody who was at the bottom of the food chain working like the most basic job and going hungry. I've never heard of that. He's spending either he's living somewhere where he shouldn't be living, or he's spending his money on something else.
You shouldn't be, maybe.
Yeah. Because like I'm telling you, I have friends like on the bottom of the economic food chain, and they're still like saving up for their PS5s and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I also don't think he's super responsible with money. I'm not gonna lie, but like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
that doesn't make any sense.
that he struggles just to get by.
Sure.
His money situation definitely doesn't help. Like, just making more money just at a flat rate would be better for him. That's like pretty much, it would just make it easier,
oh yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, so like we should all have more money.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
we should just get money for free, and it shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like my bias for like where I live now, but like I don't think, like, if you take into consideration the super rich, like how many people there are that have like hundreds of millions of dollars, and how the ratio
the ratio
go pee.
All right, I didn't want to pause the fucking podcast.
Why not?
Why?
We'll
because
just cut
like
it out, dude. Hey, dude, I'm
like,
gonna be like my dad, Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan lets his guests go pee.
All right, well, I'm gonna go pee real quick.
I need to go to bed anyway.
Okay, we'll finish up whenever I get back,
Yeah.
and then we can,
All right.
Okay, be back. What were we talking about?
What we were getting to talking about after I
Mm-hmm.
knew I was making a mistake when I extended a an additional um tangent about class,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't have very much knowledge on, so it's idiotic to begin with. But
Mm-hmm.
oh man, what were we talking about?
Damn it!
We gotta follow the tangent backward. Why did I bring up? How did class get brought up? Like middle class and upper class. Dang man, that's tragic. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm George Orwell, and I'm an expert in class, and I teach a class on class. Actually, I'm a classic classist uh, teacher. You know what I mean?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah. I I teach college students that the our corporate overlords hate us and want us all to be poor, and that's why we don't have all of the things we want because other people want
Fucking
us to
hate
be poor.
Yeah, that's right. I hate corporate
I've
overlords.
never heard a dumber theory in my entire life, actually. Believe it or
Dude,
not.
they keep us down, man.
They keep us
They're
down, man.
keeping us here.
Yeah.
Dude, they want us submissive and breedable.
Bro. I want to be submissive and breedable shit.
Damn.
Just kidding. Yeah, I want to. I just want to be a top G, man. I want to be as the Zuck. The Zuck is my hero. I finished the podcast with him and Joe Rogan. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It made me really want to be the Zuck. Mark.
Yeah, I don't blame
Oh,
you, dude.
Mark. Oh, Zuck. I want to Zuck the Zuck. Do you ever dream about the Zuck?
Can't say I have, man.
Does he
I
ever
mean, but like,
does he ever come into your dreams saying,
Yeah, so we've spent actually a lot of time thinking about that.
pretty good.
You know, and that's not the product that we set out to make when we started making Facebook. We want to connect people, especially connect my cock to their ass. I want everyone to be connected at once.
that's
Dude.
just the dream. I want to be part of the collective, like an ant hive, like China. You know what I mean?
I don't think you should ever say I want to be like China, but maybe that's just like personal opinion.
Dude, you tell me they don't have any good qualities?
None. Definitely not their construction. Definitely
That's what
not
I
their
hear.
government.
That's what I hear. I want to be like Hong Kong. Colton, you should do your impression of a Chinese man for the people.
Dude, I'm not getting fired. Not for this podcast.
You can't get fired. Nobody knows your last name.
The thing is whenever I do a Chinese impersonation, it's not gonna be necessarily Chinese. It's just gonna be kind of Asian.
No,
Dude.
just try, dude. Just do it. I bet it'd go great.
No,
I bet it wouldn't be
I
offensive
can't.
at all.
Nope. No, I can't do it.
Just whatever you say. Do not ever say Ching or Chong. That is the wrong thing to do. Do not do that. Do not. Please listen to me. If you want anybody to like you, ever.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
if you don't want to offend people, do not say Ching or Chong in any context. I'll say it one more time. Do not say Ching or Chong. Don't do it.
Okay, so
Just so you know.
Zoom Wong, Bing Jong Hao, Bing Chilling, Bing Chilling.
What are you, John Cena?
Lao Gan Ma.
Wow, dude, your Mandarin's really good. Why the hell does John Cena know Mandarin? What's going on?
You're chill, dude. I mean, like, he kind of has to.
Wasn't he a Marine?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought he was like actually in the military. That was his thing. He's like, I'm John
I don't
Cena
think he was,
and I'm American.
I don't
That's
think he
what.
was actually in the military.
You don't think so? Isn't that stolen
I don't
valor?
think so. I mean, I think he's trying to represent the military, but I don't think he was ever actually in it. Like, I think he's trying to be like a military like persona.
Jamie,
I don't
look
know.
that up.
That's a good look up.
Jamie, Google that.
Look that up, man. Dude, I'm still doctoring this fucking Snapchat.
Okay, he wasn't a Marine. Okay, he's never been in the military. All right. Got it.
No.
Got it. So he's just a traitor. That's all. Dude, this website your mom made is so good.
Thanks, man. I'm sure my mom's really proud of it.
It's really cool. Dude, look at that baby calf. Aww. Aww. Wow. Look at these 3 graduates.
Dude, Sweetwater Small.
That's so cool. Man. I want to be like your
Oh
mom.
my god, this is so hard.
What is?
I'm trying to paint on a Snapchat, and it is being so difficult, dude.
Well, that's what you get for being poor. I hate poor people. Dude, they're just... You know what? It's time to go full Tim Dillon. I fucking hate poor people. They disgust me. You know, I go back to my hometown and I drive around and I'm like, "Oh my god, these pigs. I can't believe I used to live here like a fucking animal rolling around in my own waste. Good God, these creatures live such destitute, disgusting, meaningless, vapid fucking lives that they're all addicted to some drug or another just so they can get through the fucking day. And then they pass it on to their kids, and their kids pass it on to their kids, and they live in this infinitely looping cycle of depravity and just a twisted shadow form of humanity, where the house has just endlessly become more and more dilapidated and disgusting, with cigarette burns and alcohol stains on their carpet and fucking meth residue in every corner and rats and cockroaches, until it just falls in on itself from a total lack of care and attention at all. And then all the people that are actually taking care of themselves and living well and building shit and making money, which is actually made, it's not stolen. Unless you're one of these poor people, then all of your money comes from thievery, probably. Until the government that steals all of its tax money from the upper crust to then come in and build new houses for these people so they can keep being drug addicts forever.
See, I have an interesting theory to raise. What if do you think poor people can like kind of create like unique solutions to unique problems? Like, you know that like
yeah, they can, and then they're not poor anymore.
Exactly. Like, I
Yeah.
think like some creativity should come from being poor and having like different sets of problems, right?
Yeah.
Like the Ring doorbell. The Ring doorbell was probably like came from like a person who had their stuff stolen and like didn't want to pay like outrageous fees to get a security camera installed. They're just like, well, let's just put it on our doorbell. It'll record whoever comes up. That's a really good idea. Boom, sold. You
Probably.
know, like
Yeah.
I feel like it's not required, but it's a good start of like having like I feel like if you're rich, you might not just have that many problems, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
you just like kind of solve it by throwing money. But like whenever you're poor, you like have to solve problems by
Well, I
being
mean,
more
the
creative.
the thing is though is money doesn't solve every problem.
It solves a fucking lot of them though. You
Yeah,
know?
but there's an infinite number.
Like
And so like the richest of the rich people are still like working at problems constantly.
yeah.
Like
What kind
the
of
like
problems do you think those are though? Like
well, I was just listening
I feel like
to
their
my favorite
problems are unique.
I was just listening to my favorite human, the Zuck. And the Zuck spends a massive amount of his time basically being very much like Bill Gates, except way less creepy somehow. I don't know how. It's a
Right, so what is
miraculous turnaround. He's shed his skin, metaphorically.
Literally, he
Um,
literally shed his skin. He's a lizard person.
But he was talking about his philanthropy work with his wife, where they are trying to set a system in motion that will allow for all diseases to be cured and managed within 100 years.
That's a pretty outrageous goal.
That's the kind of problems that you can work on solving when you're
Yeah, whenever you don't
when you have
like,
something to offer.
well, like okay,
when
well
you
he
have
has
when you
less
when you've
problems to
created wealth.
solve in his personal life because
Not
of his
true.
wealth.
He actually has infinitely more.
He's
He has way more
literally looking
problems.
he's looking to philanthropy
Yeah.
to solve problems now because he doesn't need to look
No.
personally.
No,
He doesn't need to think about his rent, his mortgage, his car
comes.
payments.
Listen to me. You're interrupting me.
Of
Listen,
course, I'm interrupting you. You're spouting nonsense.
No, I'm not. No, because look,
he's not going to suck
No,
your
look.
dick, dude.
Hey Zuck, please just talk to me. I just want to talk to you. But he was talking about how, and this makes complete sense. Facebook services 3.5 billion people.
Mhm.
Billion. The number of problems that come up with that are endless. Endless
Mhm.
problems for his business. And he ignores all of them. Almost all of them.
Okay.
And decides, I want to focus on that problem. Now, to your point, yes, part of that is precisely because of his wealth. However, it's also a result of intelligence.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve what he has, right?
Right.
I'm just saying he doesn't have the same problems that like that poor people would need to be creative about.
The same
He
problems?
has
No,
separate issues.
you're absolutely right. He does have separate issues. He has to make sure a 3.5 billion person service maintains itself, and also sit in government subpoenas in front of the Supreme Court for 6 hours straight, answering questions about having dealings with the CIA, and like, dude, way bigger problems.
Yeah. I completely agree that they are relevantly bigger problems. Like, quote unquote, these are huge problems to have. But like, they're not as personal. Like, these are business problems you're talking about. Like, I don't think he would have a lot of personal problems. Like, does that make sense? Like, do you disagree with that? Like, I mean, maybe he has problems relationship-wise, but like,
his problems are personal. They're his problems.
But like, that's a business problem. Like,
your mortgage is a business problem.
No, that's a personal problem.
That's a business problem. You have to
No.
You have to do business to pay your mortgage. You're involved in a business. The mortgage
I
is a
have to
business.
go to work to pay my mortgage.
That's a business.
All right?
That's business.
Yes, I know. When I get off work, I still have to pay my mortgage. Like,
Yeah.
it then becomes, it's not work related at that point. That's what I mean.
What? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Like, there are problems that you work on at work, and then there are problems that you work on at home.
Yeah.
That is the different
That's
set
work.
of problems.
That's work. No.
But it's not work.
Bro.
It's personal. It's personal work. It's not work.
There's no legitimate wall
There
between
is.
the two.
There absolutely
No,
is.
dude. They're integrally,
whenever I get
they're
off,
integrally connected, because how you do at work determines how much money you make, which determines how easy or difficult it is to pay your mortgage. It's integrally connected. It's just business. It's all business.
I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I can't really argue it because I put out my point, and I don't think I have anything to extrapolate on it. Like, but I don't agree.
Like the separation is arbitrary, because everything everything in the Zuck's life also is dependent upon. Maybe not dependent upon, right? He probably has a huge amount of cash in a bank account, right?
Probably.
So, but still, I mean, that's a really unique situation. But even for really, really wealthy people, they have to have a steady stream of income, especially if they, like, are spending that money on an extravagant lifestyle, like a big house and nice cars and all that stuff. Like, it requires a continuous stream of income.
How much personal effort do you think Zuckerberg's taken on that, like, 3.5 billion users? Like, personal, like, working himself on.
He doesn't work on Facebook.
Yeah, he obviously pays people. I mean, he has to manage the people he's paying, but, like, I still feel like he's slowly disconnected.
I think he works on putting out some fires if they're big enough, or maybe it's just that he gets told about them afterwards. Because, like, he very much, like, knew about at least in the conversation with Rogan, he had awareness and knowledge and knew the story that went down in his company about the Hunter Biden laptop censorship, for example. So, like, was that something that he was actively involved in, or did he just learn about it afterward? I don't know.
Yeah, I just wonder about these huge heads of corporations.
If he's involved in Facebook, it's minimal. It's minimal. And that's just from his own mouth. He spends most of his time in meetings, like most of these guys. And it's just about coordination. That they're the leader, right?
Yeah.
So the main job for a leader is to coordinate people. It's just say,
that makes sense.
This is what I want to do. And when, like, the hierarchy gets so large, you end up just leading all the leaders. So you're like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
So he spends most of his time working on the metaverse and
yeah, that's the new thing.
New technology. Yeah, because that's what he cares about, or philanthropy or whatever. But
I just want to sit in one of these big.
Damn it, dude! You pulled me out of my attempt at being offensively funny rant about the poor and how disgusting they are.
Dude, you got all the way through it. That was like 5 minutes of rant. It was at least 2. All right. Yeah, I'll give you enough. 2 minutes of full rant, and then we broke off conversation.
All right, I have to go to bed like 30 minutes ago.
All right, man. Well, it's been nice talking to you.
All right. Man, let's think about, like, is there any strategies we should put into place about how to get better at this?
I don't know about strategies on how to get better. I think this is actually one of the best ones we've done.
Think so?
I'm gonna be honest.
Probably.
Like, just like feeling wise, funny
Yeah,
wise. I
genuineness
think this
is
one was
good.
really good.
Yeah.
I think this one was really good. This one would be the one I would recommend to like my mom.
Okay.
I don't know that I would still recommend it.
Yeah.
But like, if I had to pick one out of the 4 we've done, this one would probably be the one.
Yeah, I said some pretty banger stuff in that first one.
Well, okay. See, I would listen for my mom's entertainment, not for my mom's knowledge increasing. You know, like there are 2 separate reasons to listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
At least in this regard.
Yeah.
I feel like this one was vastly entertaining, just probably not as intelligent.
Yeah.
But you need to put you in the fucking dreads as the thumbnail. All right.
Okay.
Because it'd be a pretty good clickbait thumbnail.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Yeah, I'll do that. The thumbnail, the title will be "Are Weaves Racist?"
We talk about it for 4 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even a real topic. You just talk about it for like a couple sentences and drop
clickbait.
it.
Yes, dude. Manipulate people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to manipulate people. That's my dream, dude. My dream is to manipulate as many people as possible for my own benefit.
Dude, that's why you get a wife.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought Andrew Tate told us that's why you get 6 girlfriends.
I thought he said that's why you get 3 wives.
No, he doesn't believe in marriage.
He doesn't believe in marriage? Dude, Andrew Tate's a scam.
Top G don't believe in marriage, dude.
Andrew Tate's a scam, dude. You don't believe in marriage?
Dude, I do like these Eastern European guys though. I heard this one guy who was like, what's an Eastern European accent?
I don't know, but I'm going to. Okay, look at Discord real quick.
Yeah.
Look at Discord in our chat. Okay. Funny picture.
I don't want to record it.
don't record it then. It's literally just a funny picture. It's fine.
All right, I'll stop the recording.
It's funny, trust me. Well,
so
maybe
I should
not
record it.
Yeah, go ahead, just in case you want to make that the clickbait.
You said that to a girl?
I'm about to.
That's so funny, dude. Oh my god. You're a genius.
Thanks. So, we had this joke, right? I've only known this girl for like 4 days, okay?
Yeah.
And
how'd you meet
one
her?
of the first things, Bumble, right? We started talking on Bumble, and she was like actually kind of interesting. I've already actually talked about her once. She didn't respond to me for a while, so like I was a little disheartened. But we got to talking a bit again. But one of the first things she said was, "Guys actually open," was like a line like, "Damn, shawty, I'm trying to see that ass without them pants." And like I was like, that's pretty funny. Like that's pretty good. I'm gonna write that down. And like that was a joke that I made. And so she had like a really, really gorgeous photo on her Snapchat today. Yeah. Gorgeous. And so I like slid up on the story and just said, "Damn, shawty, I'm trying to see that ass without the pants." Obviously.
Yeah.
Perfect,
Smart.
Right? Call back.
Yeah.
So she sent me a video of her saying like, "I'm trying to see that ass without them pants." And so like, that's what I sent in response. Here's a taste.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good.
I'll try my best.
Dude.
I'm sweating a bit.
That's a good sign.
This is how it almost always goes, Eddie. I make them laugh for a couple days, and they never text me again.
Well, you also can't be too nice. Don't be too nice.
Dude, you think I'm too nice? Oh, that's so sweet. Fuck you. Oh, I had that Andrew Tate clip that I found that I was gonna play. Like, you just have to listen.
Yeah.
It's not a watchable clip. It's deaf. Good luck. Here's a reality.
If you're some fat dude and you just had a heart attack and I don't really know you, you're going to die. I mean, if you're a really good friend, no, not even if you're a friend. You better, if you're my friend, you just can't be a pussy. Well, I had a heart attack. Get the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Go hospital later. Have a drink. Cigarette. cup of coffee, get back in the game. Fucking having heart attacks near me, little pussy. So none of my friends would even have those kind of problems because I don't roll with fucking little bitches. But if you're some dude I don't know and you need CPR and everyone's looking at me, who knows CPR? Well, me. Help him. No.
I agree with that. Dude, don't have a heart attack around me. It's weak.
I won't. I
It's
will make
weakness.
sure.
It's disgusting.
I will make sure that I never have any physical illness around.
It's disgusting. Get away from me.
You're probably fat anyway.
Anyway. Disgusting.
Here's the reality. I hate the way he speaks. I hate it. I want to
Why?
bang my dance. He sounds British.
No, he doesn't. It's partly
Yes.
British, yeah.
Yeah, like the reality. No,
Yeah.
fuck off. British person, suck my nuts. God, I hate the British.
Me too. They're so gross.
Yeah, you seen their teeth, dude? I'm not gonna lie. I was in the UK for a second, and most of the women were fairly attractive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like I only
Apparently,
talk about-
apparently they're all haughty. That's what the sidemen
is
said.
What is that?
Means they see themselves up on a pedestal,
Oh,
holier than
awful.
thou. That's
I
what the
hate that.
sidemen said.
I don't know who the sidemen are.
The sidemen are the
What?
coolest like internet dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why are they cool?
they're like friends with KSI. See, dude. See, I'm into all this shit. It's so cringe. Sometimes I just want to blow my brains out, to be honest. Like, God,
I
who
don't
am
mind seeing
I?
clips
Who the
of
fuck?
KSI.
Who the fuck am I? I'm
I
a
think
24-year-old.
KSI can be funny.
I'm a 25-year-old man watching fucking clips of KSI.
He can be
like-
funny. All right.
Yeah,
He's a
I
little
know.
funny sometimes.
I know he's funny, dude. I know. That's why I watch it. But it's like, you tell me. At least, I'm being better. I'm not like spending all my time watching YouTube. Gross.
Mhm.
Disgusting. Weak.
Here's the reality. If you're watching YouTube, get up, have a cigarette, get a drink, have some coffee. Back in the game.
Back in the game. Get back in the club.
Come on, man, come dance.
No, but I know what he
Dude,
means. Like,
Have you? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
like, dude, get over it.
Okay,
If you
so have
like,
you-
look, if you have a heart attack, it's your fault. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. You should be in control of your own organs at all times. I completely.
If your organ fails you, it's unless you're a child who was just born and you have some sort of defect, it's your fault.
No, absolutely.
You're either too fat, you are on some sort of drug that's fucking you up,
like,
or
what if
or
it's like
you're just not. I mean, you're being too inactive. You've
even
been
if you're
sedentary.
taking over the counter, even if you're taking an over the counter prescription that has a side effect of, heart attack, heart failure, that's still on you,
Yeah.
like you're the one, you chose to take that drug
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
like helping with your allergies,
yeah.
that's your fault. Don't have bad allergies.
Well, also, if a drug that maybe sometimes for some people has a side effect where it gives you a heart attack, that's probably weak people.
Yeah, they probably deserve it.
Well, don't be weak. Look, here's the
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing people don't get. Like,
And I'm not gonna help any weak person I see. If you're laying on the ground choking, I don't care.
No.
I literally don't care.
I disagree
Your
with that.
lungs could collapse in front of
dude,
me,
you
and
could
it's
be
over for you.
you could be a fucking scraggle-toothed, fat, horrible, disgusting peasant. And if you start having a heart attack, I'll give you CPR. I'll give you
Why?
CPR. Because even though you're a disgusting worm we still need worms to eat the shit in the world. That's why.
That's an interesting theory.
We need people. We need people, man. That's why. Even if they're worms, we need people.
I don't think we need that specific
We do.
person.
There is nothing more valuable in the world than a person.
Hold on. Did you know that they have estimated the quote unquote like the price of a living life or like a human being? Like I saw it somewhere on the internet. It's probably fake, but like essentially.
Well, I mean, you can do that to a degree.
As like a lawyer, right? You have to understand how much a human life is worth. That way, if you're like liable or like you need to pay, like
a lawyer could not do that.
No, not. I mean, like
they'd have to talk to an economist. An economist.
No, absolutely. I'm not saying the lawyer does it. I'm just saying I watched it like over lawyers talk.
I gotcha. Right. But oh, also, yeah, if you get a heart attack because you got myocarditis from the fucking vaccine, also your fault. Shouldn't have been a sheep. Shouldn't have got the vaccine.
I don't think okay, so this is me being real again all of a sudden. This is now real Colton time. I don't think it's necessarily their fault because of how hard it was pushed. If you wanted to go anywhere, and I still think this is the case, if you want to go outside the United States, you need to have the vaccine or you need to have your papers fake.
Leave illegally.
Well, like, how am I going to board a plane that goes to Japan illegally? Like, I don't know how to do that. What was that?
A private one?
A private.
Fucking bush plane?
Me that goes across the ocean?
Hey, look, I'm just saying, it's still your fault. Don't go to Japan. Do you want to have? Would you rather have a heart attack?
No, I wouldn't actually. I'd rather not go to Japan. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It's about priority. But at the same time, people have to work for a living. What if your work needed you to go to like another country? You know,
it's your fault. You were a member of a society that allowed for this to happen.
Don't you talk about participating society all the time? Don't you say it's like necessary?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to participate in their society again.
No, I know. No, I know. But what I know, you have to participate in your society. Like that's exactly my point. Is that you supported this part of your society that said,
well, it was
we should all be
is
afraid.
Pushing it.
Yeah, but the government is part of the society, and the society would never respond in any way to the government unless that's part of the society. See what I'm saying? If
U.S. soldiers were mandated to take the vaccine,
and they all listened because that's
they
the cult.
Had to listen.
No,
they
didn't.
Indoctrinated to listen to their chain of command.
Well,
you understand that, right?
Then they're responsible for being indoctrinated.
Would you?
That's what I'm saying.
Would you rather, like, okay, a soldier has to follow commands. That's like the whole point of being a soldier.
Napoleon Bonaparte once said a very wise thing. He said, "If you to his commanders, if you follow one of my commands that you know is wrong, it's and it fails, it's your fault. Because you know more than me. You're actually in the field. So it's your responsibility to break my command if you know that my command will fail. If you fail because you're following my commands, that's your fault." That was a very wise thing Napoleon Bonaparte said. You cannot always follow orders. You cannot always follow orders.
Dude,
what if you get bad orders? Look, that I know that's how they train them, but that's none of the good leaders act that way. They act that way to
not everyone can be a leader
to a significant degree. Now look, this let me channel Jocko Willink. I'll tell you what Jocko Willink would say. He would say, you follow every order to the meticulous detail. The most dumb shit. When the commander wants you to use your own toothbrush to scrub the fucking toilet bowl. Roger that, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, we need you to do this meaningless, pointless paperwork. Roger that. Yes, sir. We'll do it. Oh, we need you to, hike 20 miles in a circle around base camp. Yes, sir. We'll do it. You do all of that. You be a good, perfect soldier. So that way, when the time comes when you do need to disobey orders, you can with respect. That would be an example of how you do need to obey orders precisely so that when you come to a situation when you know you need to break them, you can.
Dude, I still just
so the
don't
point
think-
is the point is that every single individual capitulated in this insanity. It is each individual's fault. This is not how totalitarianism works. Totalitarianism works through a agreed upon relationship. The country shut down because the government said shut down, and the rest of the country said, okay, daddy.
I think you mean the policeman forced it. And people had to shut down due to force.
The policemen are the people. That's what I'm saying. And the people don't have to listen to the policemen either.
Yeah, I think they kind of do.
No,
Whenever the
they
government
don't.
runs the prison,
The
and the
policemen.
government runs the judicial system.
Who
I
is the
think
government? This is what
the
people
government
have to understand.
control the society.
The people are the government are the people.
Mm-hmm.
The government
Dude, you're
are the people. The police are the people. Who are the police? Who are the prison guards? Who are the citizens that the police police? Who are the military? Who are the politicians? Who are the doctors? Who are the professionals? Who are the businessmen who run Pfizer? Who are the researchers and doctors who create the vaccines? They're all people. All of them. The people are not forced, are only forced, or the people are forced at point of gun by the police. However, we live in America. Go get a group of people together. Oh, and it's like, you fight the police, and then what? Well, yeah, first of all, like I was saying, it's the police's fault for doing that because they're capitulating. If they didn't capitulate, boom, now they're with these people that are resisting. Now what are you going to do? Send in more police? What if they say, oh, we're not going to capitulate either? Okay, well, we'll send in the military. Oh, but the military says, oh, we're not going to capitulate either. And then boom, 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 boom. It's just nothing happens because the culture resists it.
I think there are too many layers.
What presses upon individuals to do things is culture. And I know what you're saying. Like, for example, this is to your point. The people in Russia, in communist Russia, could not be anti-communist or they would be killed. And that would be a waste. They couldn't do it or they would be killed. So they figured out, how can we ride the line of protesting and not being killed or thrown in prison? Well, they wouldn't show up to any sort of communist promoting convention or public gathering or anything. They did the bare minimum. Made it as hard as possible to rule them. But what has happened recently with the vaccines is you had the entire culture went insane. It wasn't a group of people forcing it down on everybody else. That was a piece of the puzzle, but it was also everyone becoming insane. You know, it was the police force capitulating. It was everything. Because, like, I mean, not everybody. You know, some of the cops, they quit. They got fired. But, like, the point is that, you know, when I say that you're responsible for what happens, I'm not saying that if, like, you could make a decision and then things would be different as an individual. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying one thing that's really graspable and realistic, and that would be that it's appropriate for an individual to take on that responsibility, to not place blame on other people, like, needlessly. You know, like, don't complain. It's like, if you were a better person, then it wouldn't be a problem. This is the Christ-like argument, the more deeper argument, that you have the potential to be a better person, and nobody knows what that upper potential is. It's real and at the same time ineffable, because, you know, potential is not measurable. You cannot measure this type of potential. It's unknowable, but you do have potential. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that everybody else has potential, but nobody knows where the cap is. Maybe there is none. Maybe the ultimate potential. Maybe all Christ did was reach an individual's, you know, upper limits of potential. Maybe that's you know, simply what happened. And so, like, hypothetically speaking, you know, if you're good enough, and, like, you know, this is why the insanity isn't going to last, because we have good individuals. You know, as much as people like to clown on them, we have, you know, individuals like Joe Rogan, who is having a, you know, massively positive impact, a net positive anyway, on the whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I watched a Joe Rogan clip today with what's it, Bill Burr. Thought it was kind of interesting.
Oh, really? Why?
I mean, like, why? Because they were talking about the masks, like they were talking about mask mandates and stuff.
Was it the older one when Burr was like, I just do what I'm told and I don't think about it?
Yep, that's exactly the one. And, like, Joe's basically laughing at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that there was, like, a specific amount of time where things were, like, acceptable. Like, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, I feel like was totally acceptable.
Well,
and then, like, it just kept going, and, like, people started, like I'm gonna use the term waking up, even though it's a little cringy, right? People just were, like, realizing, like, how long they're staying inside, essentially, and, like, how, like, this is not
dude,
working.
our culture went insane.
Like, just
and
more and more people were like, whoa, this is not right. And then, like, more and more people were on the other end of it going, like, you're making it worse, and, like, pointing fingers, you know?
Yep.
It's a really bad time to be a person. Well, it's the greatest time ever to be a person.
Well,
but at the same time, like, we are a very, very divided people.
Yeah.
And
you know, this is what I'm talking about, like, responsibility, because, I mean, really, a lot of what I'm talking about is character. Like, the reason why I'm in a situation that I don't want to be in is a lack of character. That is the reason why I don't have the life that I want to right now. It's a lack of character. And if that seems like a non-reason to you, if I say character and that doesn't mean anything, you can think about it like a tree. You can think about it like a tree's leaves. And if a tree wants to grow, it needs leaves so it can absorb light and grow more. So you can imagine a person with little character being a tree with no leaves or little leaves, and a person with more character having a tree with a great deal of leaves, and having a lot of you know, power as a consequence. And so, you know, character involves experience, it involves maturity, and it involves philosophical awareness and wisdom and strength. Involves mental strength and physical strength, but I mean, because they're irrevocably tied together. But this is precisely it all. It involves bravery as well. So the reason why our culture went insane is because none of us have, or very few of us have, any character. And part of how having little character manifests is by being mentally ill. I was telling a friend of mine the other day that our entire 90% of people in the first world, especially in America, are mentally ill. They're literally mentally ill because human beings are designed to have a certain it varies obviously, but we have a dopamine mechanism in our brains that allows us to operate properly in the natural world. And technology has hijacked that system. So all of our neurological pharmacology is off. Virtually all of us are mentally ill, and it makes us weak, and and makes us have weak characters. And so if you're and this is why everybody has anxiety now. What anxiety is? Problematic anxiety is a lack of bravery, because if you have bravery, anxiety is fun. That's why people watch scary movies and ride roller coasters, because they make them anxious.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Right.
I'm a huge proponent for being scared.
Yeah. And so this epidemic of anxiety, like, why don't we think about this? We have an epidemic of anxiety, and nobody is asking why. And then we know we have an epidemic of anxiety. We know we do. And then we act like, oh, well, that's just like, it's like, it's not that big a deal. It's like, oh, we think about individual people's experiences, right? Like, oh man, it sucks that a lot of people are anxious. That sucks for them that they're anxious. But then you realize that if we have an epidemic of anxiety, of people that are afraid all the time and lacking in bravery, what does that mean for our entire culture? What that means is that when a disease comes along, we're all going to be very, very afraid, and having such weak characters that the media companies will forge narratives for us that are actually insane, and we will continue to believe them because we are so afraid and so lacking in bravery that we'll believe whatever they say. So they can say, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Oh, well, actually, it needs to be, the next 6 months, or a year, or 2 years, or 3 years. And, the vaccine is safe and effective. You get the vaccine, it's basically like a cure. If you get the vaccine, you won't get it and you won't spread it to anybody. Boom, you're eliminated. It's all good. Everybody gets the vaccine, it's over. And then like, oh, we never said that. Oh, well, everybody still needs to take the vaccine. Like, the vaccine's still important, even though it doesn't stop you from getting it or stop you from spreading it at all. Neither, whatsoever. And it's like, everybody's still like, oh yeah, we're like in this weird fugue state of fear. I mean, people were literally writing about the vaccine like it was like Jesus Christ. Like, oh, it's gonna come and save us. We're in hell, we're in the fallen world, and we'll return to Eden when the vaccine comes. Like, it became religious. And it's due to a lack. It's due to a lack of character.
I wonder if my dad's happy I didn't take the vaccine at this point. I got the first shot, but I haven't gotten any of the boosters since.
Yeah.
Because first shot came out and it was very like, oh, the vaccine's here, guys. And then I started seeing more about it, and so I just didn't get any of the boosters after.
Yeah.
kind of like business. It also had to do with like my job needing me to move eventually. But then
Yeah.
I realized like my job isn't gonna have me move, so like there's no real reason to get the boosters.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like my dad has gotten COVID again. Like he has gotten it like since getting his doses, and like I just wonder like how he's feeling now, and I wonder like how informed he is, because I know he doesn't like look at very much like side medias. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the news he watches very like mainstream, pretty much. I'm pretty sure. Like we get our news channel 4 kind of stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, I it's really funny in a sad way how like in the beginning everybody was like, this is really serious. If you don't take this serious, you're a piece of shit and you're going to get people killed and people are dying all over the place. Here's the statistics. And yet
statistics have been flipped on their heads.
I know a lot of people. I come from a lot of different places. I've been around. No one I knew from my past No one I know in my entire family. I have a big family. No one got seriously ill. Then on top of that's one anecdote. Okay. Great. Then the statistics were what, like it was killing 1% of people?
Yeah, it was killing like 1%. It was like very,
Great.
very weird.
It was killing Great. It was killing 1% of people. It's like, yeah, that's still a lot. That's still a lot of people, right? And that's bad. Of course, we don't want 1% of people to die. I live literally 5 minutes down the road from one of the biggest airports in the entire world that was still moving during the whole thing. And I worked for a company that serviced 200 houses, and we never stopped. Not once. 200. And no one died. No one. I talked to people. Nothing. Radio silence. I had a D&D session with two guys that worked at a bank and my roommate. So and my other friend. So 5 guys at a table, and I said, "Hey guys, we're all individuals that are part of a network of people. Have you guys had anyone that died from COVID?" We all looked around, and one guy said, my cousin's grandpa got sick really bad. He's still alive though." And I was like, well, that sucks for him. I hope he gets better. That's it. Now, either it's really coincidental that it's just the luck of the draw that I don't know anyone that got seriously hurt by it. And I don't even know anyone that knows anyone.
I know someone who knows someone who knows someone.
Right.
Like, that's how disconnected.
Yeah. And it's like, not only that, but I know one person in my family that is sure they got it and they were sick.
Oh.
They felt bad for a week and that was it.
I absolutely had it. 110% I had it.
Right.
It was really bad, but it was not, I didn't die, obviously. Unless.
Yeah. I mean, people had some bad reactions. Tim Pool had a really bad time.
I had strep throat on top of having COVID.
Right.
And it was hell. It was awful because I had to like keep swallowing, and it was like a really bad cold that made me not be able to smell or taste anything.
Right.
It's very strange. But essentially, like, since I had strep throat and I had a cold, my nose was constantly trying to drain, and I was constantly swallowing,
Mm-hmm.
and like my throat was always dry because I had strep throat,
Yeah,
and
dude,
it
being
was just
sick sucks.
very painful. Yeah,
But
it sucked, but it wasn't. It was like prime cold season too. It was like November when I got sick, so like, and it was pretty early. It was definitely before the vaccine came out, but like,
dude,
it's what it was. Half the reason I didn't want to get the vaccine was because I was like, I know that I typically don't get sick more than once a year, and I have a really good immune system. Like, it's just like known fact for me that I just typically do well.
I honestly wonder if the vaccine like increases your chances of illness.
It's possible. I mean, again, I didn't.
I think the statistics don't show that, but I don't know.
I think
I
the
wonder.
hospital
It makes
rate
me wonder.
shows. I think there's a hospital rate between vaccinated and unvaccinated people nowadays that shows that like vaccinated people are being hospitalized more than unvaccinated people.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, dude, that we just live in a culture internationally, worldwide, that is deeply, deeply anxious and fearful unnecessarily, and it has caused a huge amount of strife. Did you know that when Teddy Roosevelt said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself? Did you know that he was telling the American people that at the peak of the Depression, because people were so afraid of the Depression that it was making it worse?
Yeah, interesting.
That,
You
like,
think it's because they weren't like putting money into the economy?
Well, I mean, that's
like,
yeah, no, exactly. That's precisely what happened. That's what caused the Depression.
Well, I thought like the Depression were
what
2 steps.
Well, yeah, there's more. You're right. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but
I thought like the Dust Bowl was happening at the same time.
Well, the Dust Bowl was relegated to only a few places.
Okay, I just thought it was like
it was
food
related
was in flux, and
but I mean,
prices went up for food.
One of the biggest things that happened was people realized that that the banks. We all know this now, but people didn't realize it at the time, and like everybody found out that the banks actually don't hold everyone's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they just say they do, and then they hope when you come to ask for it, they have it, because the way they make their money is by using it to invest in things. And so when the stock market started going down, everybody said, "Well, I don't want to lose my money." And so everybody went and pulled my money back. Everybody went and pulled it out. The banks had no money. Stock market collapsed. Depression, because everybody got afraid. Mm-hmm. And so that's actually where that quote comes from. And really, the reason Lucifer is who he is a result of fear, fundamentally.
Well, I thought it was also temptation based, but like,
right. But
my idea of Lucifer might be different. Obviously, it's a very personal thing.
Well, so God is infinite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer's not.
Yes.
And Lucifer says that like, I know what life should be like. Everything that I know is enough. I know enough. And if you decide that you know enough, that you don't need to know anything else, that's ideology, and that's a fear of the unknown. If you say like that's it. I can't know anything else, and what I know is enough, and now I can be God. I know better than God. That's a fear of the unknown. It's a fear of the infinite. It's a fear of God. You know what I'm saying?
You know what you're saying. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
do
it's
actually make
it's
the same.
way past my bedtime, so I'm calling it.
I know.
I'm sorry. I know I want to keep talking, but
I know you want to keep talking.
all right. I'm ending the recording now.